Good morning everyone. Welcome back to another beautiful day on the Finca. A little bit cooler, it's starting to cool down, so we should hopefully be able to get on with this stable soon. It's still too hot to be outside in the full on sun, but it has been a little bit better. And we've been forecast rain, a percentage chance of rain for pretty much every day this week. We had a 45% chance of thunderstorms yesterday. We had a few white fluffy clouds. Thursday's looking like the day most likely, but we'll see. We won't get too excited. It's not rained for over 2 months now. Well, we had about 1 millimetre, which didn't even...
Just caused a lot of mess everywhere with the sand, basically.
It didn't even wet the floor sort of thing properly. So, anyway, moving on. The things I made yesterday, the new dog thing is working brilliantly. Dead clean water this morning because they would dig away, and it's too high now for them for the spoil to go in. So that's the result. Brilliant. The barbecue is working fantastically. Lit it up, burnt it all off, all the the messy stuff that was on there. Absolutely fantastic, nice and hot again. And the hooks I made for the bathroom door and the horseshoes I had to give them another coat of paint this morning because I missed a bit. It's a bit dark in the workshop when the sun's not shining, so I'll have a look at them later. What are we on today?
Well, I'm on a mission into town to see if I can get some agua fuerte, which is basically hydrochloric acid, that is excellent for cleaning stone and brickwork. When we first got the house and we were waiting for permissions, we were having to do little bits of jobs. There were a lot of cracks in the workshop, and we were watching various ways to do it on YouTube, and one was to get a very sloppy mix of sand and lime and pour it through a funnel down the holes in the roof so that it would, in theory, go between the stones and seal up those cracks.
Theoretically, it did.
It did. However, of course, once the holes are full, it will come out of any little hole in the render that it possibly can. And what we ended up with, and I don't know whether Andy can find a picture.
I think we've got a picture, of that. There's
basically a stripy wall, which used to drive me
coming down the wall.
Mad. I couldn't bear to look at this wall with these streaks down it. So Andy remembered from back in the UK this hydrochloric acid that you used to use to clean the bricks.
They sold it as brick cleaner. I'm sure it's a worldwide thing, but we couldn't find anything like that here at all, could we? But we had a bit of dig, and the key ingredient is hydrochloric acid, and we just happened to be reading the labels of all the nastiest chemicals we could find.
In the supermarket, under the hazardous chemicals bit.
Agua fuerte, which the Spanish use a lot for cleaning the patios and terraces, because it's fantastic stuff. It's a bit horrible and nasty at times.
Yeah, you need definitely goggles and a mask, because it
in a confined space.
Yeah.
And we tried that, and we whipped it straight off.
Absolutely fantastic.
Because these stones were cleaned off in the loo, it's still got no matter how much you brush them, it's very, very difficult with just water to get it out. So we thought we'd try some of that.
We're going to try and get some today and put some in a spray bottle and just spray the stones individually, slowly, wire brush it.
Well, we've got Janine's brushes.
We've got Janine's fantastic brushes.
We'll get them to work
and see if we can clean those stones up a bit better, because they look great when they're wet, but once they dry, you can still see the powdery.
If we can get them cleaned up, they will look stunning. They should look absolutely stunning,
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and get a bit more done on the upstairs. I'm pointing, it's just up there, in the old hay loft, the living room for the apartment. Keep plodding on with that because we need that ready for winter. As other things, we've talked about this as well. We could do with some windows in downstairs before winter, because it just blows through, which is lovely in summer. But in the winter not so, So we're moving on slowly, and we'll be getting on with the stable. I would think usually after the first week of September things really start to cool down to normal things, but in the meantime we've still got plenty to do, so
let's crack on.
First thing I want to do is put our lucky horse, pony, donkey shoe on the door here. I can't get it exactly in the middle because it's a bifold door, but I'm going to put it on this one about there, I think. And I've got this fantastic device that Brian kindly made for me, which is going to be coming perfect for this. And I'm literally just going to hold it where I want it, which is about there. And we'll have a one in there. Make me hole there. There it is. There's my head in the way. Turn it up a bit. Tough wood, that. Pop it out. And then in he goes. Crikey, that is hard. Does that look about level? Stand back and have a look at it. Not bad. So then again, we'll start our hole with the awl and pop one in this side. There we go. I'm going to put one on the apartment door upstairs, and then I'm going to look at getting those hooks on the back of the bathroom door, the upstairs bathroom door. How lovely is that? Lucky. And there we go, one on the apartment door, the small apartment door already as well. We've already got one on the main apartment entrance round the back. So yeah, that's complete. We've got a few more for when we do more doors in the future. So lovely. Lucky house. Right, so I'm in the bathroom. You can see there I have invisibly marked two crosses. What I did, I held the spirit level up to the centre, an invisible marker put on the centre of the door, and then marked equidistant from the centre with two marks. I'm now going to use this beautiful awl that Brian made for me to mark the centre and make an indentation there and there. I'm actually going to put the camera down because I don't want to do it one-handed and make a mess. Okay, so I've indented them. I'm just going to offer my hooks up and pop a screw through them. I'll show you the end result in a moment. And there it is, two rustic, homemade, very very cheap hooks on the back of the door. They'll come in useful for sure. Right, onwards and upwards.
Success! I'm back with the Agua Fuerte. 99 cents a bottle, can't go wrong. Marvellous stuff. I'm not doing an advert for it, but I do recommend it. Anyone who needs pave cleaning, or as I say, stonework, brickwork, fantastic stuff. So happy bunny. It's getting to that time, we're getting a bit hungry, so we're going to have BRT a la casa, which is basically a BLT, but with rocket, because we don't have any lettuce yet. This is our lovely rocket, planted the 16th of July, so a month and a half. Look at it, gorgeous. So I'm going to get on and cook our brunch now.
And there we go, lunch, beautiful bacon, rocket and tomato, homegrown tomatoes with a bit of mayo. Lovely, bon appetit. We'll be back in a bit.
Right, so we've put a little bit in here with some water. It says 10 parts to 1, but we've just sort of done mostly agua fuerte, a little bit of water. Last time, to be honest, when I was cleaning off the stone outside, we just used it neat. So what I'm going to do to start with is just spray the stones individually, leave it a few minutes, it will start to bubble, and then get a damp brush and just brush it off. Not concerned about the wood. I use this stuff to clean the beams upstairs in the hay loft. And the white lime that was all over them bubbled up, but it didn't affect the wood in any way. So I'm not worried about covering this up. I have covered the loo up because plastic cistern and that. So yeah, let's have a go. Can you see that bubbling up, fizzing away? Looks like it's working.
Well, it's certainly bringing out the colour in the stones. Hopefully when they've got to be washed off and scrubbed off yet, and hopefully when they are, when they dry out again at the end, we'll have something like that colour, because that'll look absolutely incredible. Well, let's shall we carry on, and we're going upstairs. So the bits I did the other day up there, it's gone pretty hard and pretty solid. So I'm hoping that's going to give me a good base to build on now. So far it looks pretty good. So I'm going to mix a big bucket up and get up my ladder and stick some more in it, see what happens.
So that's the result of my labour this afternoon. After I'd sprayed it on and let it bubble, I then got my wire brush and some water, scrubbed it all off, wiped it down with a cloth, and it really has brought out the colour of the different stone. We've got sandstone here. These are more like marbly effect. Bit of granite looking stone. So if it dries like that, stays like that, I'm well pleased. It's a good job well done. And tomorrow I'm onto this wall, never ending, but we're getting there.
Back upstairs. What I did the other day worked really well. I've got another running all the way along the top. And if you can see on there, some bits are even completely filled already now. Again, say it doesn't look pretty, it's not smooth and flat, doesn't matter, it's all being covered up. But the most important thing is that it's consolidated and made solid, so there's no bits rattling about under our lovely new ceiling we're going to put in. And this edge, along where the wall meets the ceiling, done all the way along there, bar a little bit at the top. So yeah, we're making good progress with it now, better than I thought. Yeah, very happy with that. So yeah, the consolidating bit, it's gone hard, it's gone off, it stopped the bamboo wobbling about, giving me something to get a key to, the new stuff's sticking to it lovely. So yeah, I'll just keep cracking on with it. Well, that's another day sort of done. Coming along, it takes time. It's been a bit cloudy today, and the batteries have just hit the bulk charge, so because we've not been using much power, just the mixer on the electric dull for a few minutes, that's all. Speaking of solar power, Paul asked about wind turbine. Have we ever considered getting a wind turbine? It is something we did look at, isn't it?
Yeah. Quite
in depth really, and the first thing that sort of caught our attention was that the power you get off them compared to the cost of purchasing them is very, very out of line with solar panels.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a bit more research on them. You need like a 15 km/h wind, which is about 10 miles an hour, just to get them to engage. Yeah, and before they start producing power, and they don't really produce much power until they're doing like sort of 25-30 km/h wind. We do get, as you probably noticed on the videos, we can get quite breezy up here, but it's only between sort of 3 and 6 in the afternoon.
Yeah, you can literally set your watch by it. The wind starts early afternoon, but then by 6-7 o'clock it goes very still again.
Flat,
And
calm.
overnight, particularly when you'd like a bit of a breeze, it's so still. And that's when we need the extra power to charge the batteries, because obviously with no solar, so it didn't really...
Yeah, so it
wasn't
did
an
the
option.
cost thing, and because it'd just be, you know, when we needed to produce power. If we could run one overnight, even if we're just producing 400 watts, that'd just keep our batteries fully charged using the fridge and, you know, the sort of the appliances that are running continuously. It would be lovely, but so it's I think they call them katabatic winds, do they? It's to do because we're in the mountains, and the wind when the land heats up, the land's warmer than the sea. It pulls it off the sea up the mountain, and then in the winter it's the opposite, because the sea's warmer than the land. It slides down the mountain towards the sea, but only at the extremes of temperature at the warmest time of the day. Little interesting think fact there for you, maybe. So yes, we did look at it. Obviously, for other people, it could be a massive plus if you do live in a windy spot, you know, on a sea cliff edge or something. Or I mean, Spain is full of wind turbines on top of the hills, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, big farms and stuff, and they're even turning farmland to solar power now. But that's another story. So yeah, Paul. Yeah, we did look into it. We just figured it wouldn't be of, you know, benefit to us.
Yeah, not really viable.
Anyway, your wall's looking great.
Pleased with it, yeah, pleased with it. It was hard work.
It's a nice big space you've got to work around, isn't it? That helps as well.
That stuff is lethal.
Hopefully when it dries now, because it can take several hours for the stones to dry out, and always when they're wet they look
great when they're wet anyway.
Come out. But hopefully now.
Those at the top of the wall, as I say, started with those, and it's been a couple of hours now, so I'm confident that it's going to be all right. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, that's all we got for today, really. We hope you found something interesting out of it. Hope you've enjoyed it. If so, as always, consider subscribing. If you check the little bell next to the subscribe button, select all. YouTube will notify us every time we upload a video, which is currently 6 days a week. We have to have one day off. Thanks to all the people that have supported us. We couldn't do it without you. And
thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.